Hey guys, it's Christina here, and I am a little bit happy mood because I just had a job interview and I got it on the spot. I know that can be kind of like a little bit shady in a sense if you think about it, because it's like, oh, they just want to hire anybody, but it's not the job that I got. It's not like anybody can really do it. You do need like you need training and stuff like that. So yeah, so it's not really, they just didn't give me a job because it's open, you know. They already have people that do this job. They need a lot of it, but they don't just pick anybody. So I wasn't like, oh my god, you're shady, you just hired me on the spot. He also explained to me why he's not giving that 1 week notice of if I got hired or not. And he said, first of all, I don't like it and I don't think you deserve it because I want to hire you. So I was like, oh, thank you, I feel so honored. And he's like, no, 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 I don't like it, so I don't want you to go through that. So I was like really thankful for it. So I mean, that's pretty much the overall thing that's making me happy. But then I was thinking, hey, I think I could like make a video out of this and help you guys, because honestly, I don't really have much experience for interviews. Was my second ever interview, and um, and I know like I can't really say that I went through a lot, but then I know a lot to talk about it. So, and I feel like it will be helpful, especially for young 20s, even teens, to start thinking about these things because you just need practice. And so let's just get into it. So the first thing that you ever need for a job is your resume. So resumes, honestly, I was like, oh my, I dreaded writing the resume, but I was able to ask my friends for their resumes. People, especially people who are older than me that already got a job or was asking around to check their resumes. So I asked if I can use their layout and stuff like that. So basically, I copied their resume layout. I didn't like copy like word by word of anything that they wrote. I don't think it's a really good idea because that means everyone will have the same thing on their resumes, which is not a good thing. It's kind of like having a paper due and you just copy and paste it, you know, you will get caught. So I just got the layout of it, and you could find the layout on the Microsoft Word. I believe other Word document kind of thing like the Office should have it, but you could get it from online as well. Just copy and paste the format and just fill in your information. That's exactly what I did from my friend's resume. I just copied and pasted to another new Word document and then wrote like my information where their information is. I replaced it with my information. So there's a lot of sources of that on Google search as well. So just look those up. Another thing that can help with resumes is if you're especially in school, it's good to go to like the little seminars or conferences or little, practices that the school provides for you. I'm pretty sure all the friends that went to different schools than me do have that. And they have that you can walk in, or they actually have an event where you sign up and say, hey, I'm gonna come in this time for mock interviews, or I want you to look at my resume, and they correct it for you. They have like a whole staff to help you, and it's free, so why not, you know, take advantage of that. I personally did not do that because I wasn't gonna go right into working after college. So yeah, I wasn't gonna go right into working after college, and I was gonna go back to school and stuff. So I was like, oh, I'll just wait on it. But maybe I should have gone. But even with the jobs that I would like would probably get. It doesn't really require an interview, or it does, but I just didn't feel the need to go. And I thought I could just practice it, because I know for some classes, even because I was a business major as well, it, some professors required us to, go through that and get bonus points for class or something like that. For me, we had to turn in a resume so the professor can check if your resume is good enough for you to get hired. And I got a pretty good grade on my first try, so I didn't really need it because she asked for it for a bonus point, and then she would grade you like A, B, or whatever. And if you didn't get a certain grade, then you would have to redo it and ask to recheck, but it wouldn't really affect your grade and stuff. But I got it on the first try, so I didn't feel the need to go for help. I actually honestly asked more of my peers than anyone else, because I had a lot of peers that already went through the process, and because they're going through the same thing, they have a little bit tips of, oh, like this person actually asked me this question and stuff like that. So it was actually more helpful to talk to my peers more and ask them to check my resumes, and they gave me a little points, they fixed it, and gave me some ideas and stuff like that. So use the resources around you that's free. You don't really need to hire someone to check your resume. And yeah, even maybe if you have a mentor, I know there's a mentor program at my previous college, and their mentors will recheck the resumes for them and stuff like that. So yeah, just use your resources a lot. So the next issue will probably be interview questions that you might get at your interview. So even for this, like I said, they do have mock interviews at your school, so check those out. Like I said, I didn't do them. I just practiced at home and just looked up common interview questions. And this I know I told you I didn't this is my second interview that I did, but you know what, like even the 2 interviews that I had, it was the same questions. Basically, the first question is, tell me a little bit about yourself, and then what are your weaknesses and strengths. They usually say 1 or 2 strengths, and then they ask 1 or 2 weaknesses, or together they just ask, what's your strength and weakness, most strength, weakness or strength and stuff. So, and then they ask you, do you see yourself, how do you see yourself in like 5 or 10 years, or in that sort of period. They ask, oh, do you see yourself doing the same exact job, or sometimes they're more specific on that as well. And then they ask, how did you find out about this job, or who preferred you, or what made you get into this job, or like, why do you want to work here? And today he asked me, because you were a business major, how did you get into this? Because it's kind of totally different. This one's a whole different department. And I was like, well, honestly, business is, I think, the base for a lot of different things. I think it teaches you a lot. And then second, from this experience, this led me to this. And then also, if you found the job online, let them know that you did your research and you found their website, and that's how you put in your application and your resume. Or if there was someone specific, remember to say the person's name, and that will actually give you a little bit more points too. They might either be someone who doesn't work there specifically, but they'll probably jot the person's name down, and it'll help you knowing the specific person. So now the base stuff is also like knowing who will interview you. I know for today I did kind of ask, when I was setting up the time for the interview, hey, am I going to talk to you or talk to someone else? May I get that person's name? Blah, blah, blah. I ended up talking to the person who actually kept in contact with me to schedule the interview and stuff. So, but sometimes there's a whole group. It depends on where you're applying to. A big company might have a panel of interviews, and ask you different questions, which can be more intimidating, but the questions should be still the same. And then, yeah, and then also know your strengths and weaknesses. I think it's a very tricky question. I know it sounds easy, but I think it's a tricky question. I know I flunked that question, the weakness question, on my first interview because I was like, why would they ask this? And they asked this. So I was like, not prepared for that question. But for this one, I did research and found, what you need to do for your weaknesses is state your weakness, but then turn it around and say, but I could do this for my weakness and stuff like that. For example, for this interview, I said my weakness is that I am new at this. I'm just starting with this, and it's my first, or I actually told him like, oh, this is my second interview. So I'm, and it's my first time actually applying for this job and type of job. And, but with that, I am open-minded to learning new things, and I'm a fast learner, and ... like keep going. So you kind of have to turn it around of how you can change your weakness into your strength later on, after you start working for them and stuff like that. So yeah, just do your research. And the two websites that I found helpful was www.job-hunt.org and just search job interviews. And then also career-advice.monster.com. Monster.com is a pretty big website. Even like in high school, I knew about monster.com. You can even search jobs there. So I actually found these two websites on the first two or few links of Google search of how to answer the weakness question for an interview or something like that. Just Google search like specific, and you could be also specific to your job. So if you're like an RN, you could say an RN interview questions, or like top RN interview questions, or top accountant interview questions, and a lot of sources come up. So just do your research, and you should, be great. Honestly, I was like, oh, I'm gonna prepare for this interview like for a few days, and speak out loud in front of the mirror. But honestly, I didn't do it. I don't know if I'm just okay with this kind of stuff. But if you're the person who needs practice, do it with your parents, do it with your friend, do it with your siblings, and you could take turns, or you can even record yourself like I'm doing this video. Record yourself and see what you do, and like things. You can even video record it, because it'll show you like what you're doing. Like if you're like fiddling with your hair while you're interviewing like this, like how do you think like the interviewer will feel? Like it's distracting when you're doing this with your hair while you're interviewing, so that's the interview part. So, and the next important thing is how you dress for interviews. For this type of job that I went did an interview for, it's more kind of lenient. So I knew like you had to dress like business casual. For bigger companies, I believe you do have to do business, like an actual suit with a blazer, with a collar button-down shirt, black slacks or long skirt, and either flats or black shoes or something like that. But I knew this was a little bit more lenient, so I did have some like black slacks. And I wore this sweater actually, and then wore a blazer like coat because it's a little bit cold. I did have a blazer prepared this morning, but I was like thinking the coat that I have looks like a sort of a blazer look. It's kind of like a pea coat, and I didn't take it off, so I just left it. And he actually asked that question too. He said, what do you think you have to dress like for this job, and I said business casual, and I was correct. So you know, stuff like that do or may come up. I wouldn't. There's also questions that you shouldn't ask, and you could search that up too. I think the monster.com has so many different questions that can come up and things that you shouldn't do for an interview. So check the website. I will link those websites below. So you'll have that. And like it's it's hard, but then it's easy if you just know what questions will be thrown at you. And don't I don't think you should memorize your answer like from word to word to word. I think you should just memorize like the base points. That's what I did, and it only took me like 2 hours really to like be prepared for this interview. And all the questions that I thought would be thrown at me did come up. So, yeah, I feel like those are the basic questions. So, yeah, I think that's pretty much all that I really would discuss with you today. Let me know if this video was helpful or if you want more of these type of videos. I think I'm gonna do another video kind of concerning this. If you can guess what, please comment below of what you think the next job video would be. And if you have a specific video that you want, also comment below, or you can message me or email me as well. But yeah, I hopefully think this will be helpful for you guys. I don't know, but let me know in the comments below. And yay, I got a job interview that I was successful for. And it's for what I'm doing, it's more freelance, so I will probably go through more interviews as well, because I'll have more jobs that way. Yeah. I don't want to go into specific details of what I'm doing and stuff. You could probably find out through my Instagram, but right now it's just, for this video, I'm being more general of what interviews and resumes and looking for jobs can be like. So, yeah, so that's pretty much it. And I'll see you guys next time. XOXO.